As a child, my parents joined Wycliffe Bible Translators, and I had the immense privilege and adventure of being an MK, a missionary kid overseas. That did a great deal to widen my worldview. It was through that God led me into the second angle or lens of looking at missions, which is as a career missionary. The Lord led my husband and I into overseas work. We prepared for many years, and He led us to Indonesia, where we lived in a small village in the interior, a very primitive setting. No roads, no electricity, no other expats. We were the only expats there. Very primitive. And I will never forget the day that we landed, the culmination of so many years of planning. And we were in a small plane that flew us in, and we landed on a little mountain airstrip and got out, surrounded by probably 600 village people. And I stood there on the airstrip with one of my little girls in my arm and holding the hand of my other little girl. And I watched my husband and the pilot unpacking the plane. And it was just so exciting that it was the culmination of our preparation to be there. Well, then I heard a noise, and the pilot had gotten back into the airplane. And I'll never forget seeing that airplane take off and get smaller and smaller and smaller against that mountain. And a whole nother emotion overwhelmed me, and it wasn't excitement. It was actually great fear. And it was a moment, a real telling moment for me, where I had to decide, I will trust the Lord or I can't trust the Lord. And if I can't trust Him, I need to ask that plane to come right back. The Lord gave me the grace to trust Him. But I also realized in that moment that all the supporters that we had asked to pray for us and care for us and stand with us, what had been theory before was essential to me being there. In a new way, I realized the support, we needed to stay there. I think that moment was the beginning of God's preparation for my present ministry. We have since, after 16 years in Indonesia, moved back to the United States, and we work at the JARS Center in Waxhaw, North Carolina. I'm the director of JARS Health Services. We do so much to support the missionary medically overseas, whether that be ordering medications that they can't get themselves over there, calling or emailing for advice, caring for their medical needs, lab needs, etc. when they're home on furlough, giving pilots their FAA physicals to get their pilot's license, giving immunization consults. It's a wide variety of services that are unique to the overseas missionary or the missionary that's living right here. And we're able to do so at a very decreased cost. Along with all the things that we're able to do for missionaries both here in the United States and overseas is a huge amount of work, and we are desperate for personnel. That's probably my biggest challenge as the director, the need for doctors, for nurses, and for lab techs. If God would lay such a ministry on your heart, we would love to pursue that with you. It is because of the past ministry that I've had overseas and the emotions that I've felt in that isolated area that I'm able to serve with a passion and a purpose here at JARS Health Services.